CarolinaPrepper.com. If you're looking for quality food storage for hiking, fishing, hunting, basic survival needs, or just for everyday use, check out our food storage line at CarolinaPrepper.com. We also carry other fine quality products, such as our can-can concealment holsters for men and women. Keeping your firearm under cover and within reach puts confidence in your hands in any situation. Our products are 100% American-made. Check us out today at CarolinaPrepper.com.
And now, it's time to Stand for Truth with the host of Stand for Truth Radio, Susan Knowles.
Good morning, everybody. How are you? Good to see you. How is everybody on this Thursday? Hey, Julie. Hey, Marianne, Lady Liberation. Hey, we need you in here today. Danielle, how are you? Good morning. Sherry, good morning. Good to see you. Robin, Don, Jerry, good to see you. Wow, Jerry, haven't seen you over here. Freaking me out. No. Hey, Catherine, I see you made it to Facebook Live. Hey, Dawn, good to see you. Tillman, Gigi, good to see you. Yes, Catherine, we're on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and also Periscope at the same time. Can everybody hear me on YouTube? Just let me know. Yes, Robin is back. Feeling so down about how they're treating Trump? Yes. Hey, Lisa. Thank you, everybody. If you would please retweet this so we can bring people on in. That would be perfect if you would, please, and invite your followers. Hi, Tammy. Good to see you. While you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and just read a psalm really quickly here. Hey, Josette. Thank you. Hey, Gigi. Thank you for retweeting that, Gigi. Hear my cry, O Lord. Attend to my prayer. From the end of the earth I will cry to you when my heart is overwhelmed. Lead me to the rock that is higher than I. For you have been a shelter for me, a strong tower from the enemy. I will abide in your tabernacle forever. I will trust in the shelter of your wings. For you, O God, have heard my vows. You have given me the heritage of those who fear your name. You will prolong the king's life, his years as many generations. He shall abide before God forever. Oh, prepare mercy and truth, which may preserve him. So I will sing praise to your name forever, that I may daily perform my vows. And that's assurance of God's eternal protection, Psalm 61. So I wanted to start that off today with a prayer. I think that a lot of us are feeling like prayer needed at this time, and the Psalms are really a prayer. How's everybody doing this Thursday morning? You doing okay? Hey, Tori, good to see you. Marie, good to see you. You're down. Okay, Marianne is down. Everybody, how's everybody else? We get the country and the behavior that we deserve. Vote wrong. It's what you get. Cut cable TV, Tillman said. Beautiful. Good morning. Hey, Nina. Hey, Sean. We need some fake good news. Big Ralph. Blessed and highly favored. Great. What will you be talking? Hey, Bluegrass, good to see you. Catherine's upset. Robin's doing good. All the hate is getting to me. Well, Danielle, that's the plan. They hope that will happen. Thank you, Bluegrass. You look great today, Susan. Bright and shiny face. Thank you, Marie. Let's see. Thank you, you all, everybody. Thank you, Catherine. Good setting up kindergarten classroom. Aw, lots of dirt, Jerry said. Jerry's doing something productive over there. That's great. Need some common sense in public, Don said. Thank you so much, Sean. You know, here's what I want to say to everybody, okay, before we get started. Know this. Know that the enemy is really trying hard to bring you down, to make you feel that there's no hope, to make you feel that all you can do is sit and remain silent. So know that. First and foremost, know that. Yes, Robin. I mean, it's the truth. And so, you know, the enemy. Yes, the enemy. And it's a spiritual battle. Spiritual. So just know that. Only got online for about an hour yesterday and got right back off. Aw, that's terrible. What's going on? So, start at that premise. Don't be discouraged. Yes, Tillman, death by a thousand cuts. So try not to be discouraged by that. Hey, Judy, good to see you. So let's go on and talk about some of the news, some of the breaking news, some of the news that you might have heard of. Talking about, let's see, Robert Mueller to begin with. He's lost one of his top FBI investigators, Peter Strzok. Strong. I have no idea how you pronounce that name. Robin said, the enemy can't take my hope or joy. He's a liar. Stay in the word. Absolutely. Was having a great day and wanted it to continue. Well, Nina, sometimes you have to unplug. Co-author of Art of the Deal says Trump will resign soon. Nah. No, you definitely help keep the discouragement away. Thank you, Julie. I think that you're going to hear a lot of people saying a lot of things. Here's one thing that I want to tell you. This has been on my mind and on my heart to talk to you about since yesterday, really before then, but I've kind of not talked about it. Hey, political, I wish the world becomes a peaceful world for all of us. It will when God returns, Sean. Thanks, Nina. I just want to let you know, because I've been hearing a lot of people talking on, let me just say in broad on social media. I think this is where that you have to use your discernment that God gave you, okay? There are a lot of people in social media, people who were claiming to be your leader, my leaders, saying that, I'm going to go out and I'm going to look at this rally. I'm going to see what's going on at this protest. But what they did was they became the news. Instead of just reporting on the news, they became the news. And now those same people, because everything's hitting the fan, you hear those same people now backing off, backing away, and saying, oh, wait, I don't know if I want to go out and do these rallies and these protests anymore. It's getting kind of dangerous. Hey, Marlene. And, I might get hurt in those things. These are the same people that tried to get you to come out and get you to be involved in all of that nonsense that was going on. So this is where discernment comes in. This is why you should never follow somebody and believe what they're saying and have them lead you. Don't follow any person. Follow God, and that's it. And it's going to be a lot of people trying to lead you down the wrong way. These same Antifa were causing the same trouble at the DNC, would do the same to Hillary as president. You mean, I missed the rest of it. Jerry said, I feel good. FBI is investigating. We know the tricks, Antifa and Soros, so it's going to get better. Indictments may be coming too. So sewer line is getting cleaned up, Jerry said. Warning leaks ahead, Don said. Josette said the Bible says we overcome. Yeah, I knew it was about your FBI. I knew that about Don. Trump's not a quitter. I have faith in him. I'm upset because they're those losers on the left, Catherine said. Yes. You're anti-Antifa. Yes. Good morning, Barbara. How are you? So, again, going to those types of rallies and I do think there were probably some innocent people who just wandered upon those rallies and didn't know what was going on and thought, oh, okay, this is just a pro whatever rally, and thought I'll stand around and see what it is. So I do think there were some innocent people that were involved. And I think sometimes that people can talk you into going to places, but if you get there and you see what it's about and you know that it's not good and you know that it's, you shouldn't be there, then leave. It shouldn't be about other people telling you what to do and you doing it. Yeah, when you see tiki torches, I mean, that might be the first clue that's probably time to go. Some just went to see what it was. I know, Jerry. And then it happens. I mean, people do get there and they stand around and, and then it's like, oh my gosh, you're in the middle of it. So, I just say stay away from things that that are bad. No matter what side you are on or if you're on no side at all. Use discernment, common sense, reasonableness, that type thing. So anyway, getting kind of back to what I was talking about, they're not really saying why that person left Mueller's investigation. So he was the guy who left was very active in the Hillary Clinton investigation of the emails. So there's no explanation. You're probably not going to get one from Mueller. It was Kettling. Kettling. They herded one crowd into the other. Don said, "God is so good to Trump. God is so good to all of us." That's interesting. Yeah, very interesting. Also, let's say, hey Jennifer, good to see you. We are going to DC soon, and we'll stay away from any madness going on there. Robin, it's hard to do. It's pretty much all over DC. It's not the fastest horse that wins the race, but the one with the most endurance. Do you still? No, I don't. Let's see. Also, there was another person that came on Fox News that you need to look out for, probably because Fox News is becoming, mostly left-wing, if not all left-wing eventually. I think the only conservative there is Sean Hannity. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Why not forgive? I'm glad that, Susan, you are above that. Thank you. I'll look out for that. Anyone holding tiki torches come off a bus. I mean, yeah, that kind of should be your first clue. Anybody holding bats, things of that nature, probably you don't want to be following them. What do I think of the incident? Well, I had a lot of talked about yesterday. Ted Nugent was great on The Specialist yesterday. I didn't see Ted Nugent. Crownhammer's getting bad. He sure is. They're going to go to the dark side. They were bussed in. Yeah, that's what I heard, Danielle. A lot of people were bussed in. And probably paid people that were bussed in. Just that you heard what Bannon said to the New York Times. I did. I'm going to be talking about that in a minute. Fox News Specialist is garbage. Yeah, Ebony Williams is her name. And I guess one of the first things that she did was start talking down about Trump. And apparently a lot of people didn't like it. She got about 150 emails. And so she shouldn't be getting death threats or anything like that. But, that's what crazy people do is they do death threats. Yeah. And that's not right. So Sean Hannity came out and said, she's a dear friend of mine. We need different voices. Treat her with respect. While I would treat her with respect, I'm not watching her. Hey, Gary, good to see you. I'm not watching much of Fox News anymore because Fox News has gone totally to the left, like I said, except for maybe Hannity. So Shepard Smith and Ebony probably are great bookends for each other. They're both on the same path. Fox is done. Pretty much Big Ralph, I think so. Hey, Laura, thank you for retweeting. Thank you for being here. Yeah, I don't watch it. I mean, there's not really any news stations anymore on TV that I watch. I sometimes watch the local station. Yeah, I know other people watch One America News. Thank you, Bluegrass. Susan is the real news. I try to be discernible of what it is. Yeah, Tucker's good. I wonder how long Tucker is going to last. Nazis were actually shooting at the protests. I mean, there was so much violence there because so much hate came together in Charlottesville. You can't put that much hate together and not know that there is something that's going to happen. I mean, it's just common sense. And, kind of like from what I'm hearing with the mayor and the governor, they kind of knew, they kind of wanted that to happen. And in fact, this is very discerning, or disturbing, I should say, or whatever. The mayor of Charlottesville, what is it, Singer, whatever his name is, he declared back in January that Charlottesville was going to be the capital of resistance against President Trump. And he's pro-sanctuary city, and he vowed that he would fight Trump's agenda. So you wonder how much went on in Charlottesville, them knowing that this was going to happen, meaning that you were going to have all these groups converging together. And did they just stand by and let it happen? A lot of people are saying, of course, that the police didn't do their jobs because they were told to stand down. I think there needs to be an investigation, honestly, into what happened in Charlottesville. And I'm not talking just about civil rights. I'm talking about what the mayor and the governor, if anything, had to do with what happened in Charlottesville. Hey, Asher, good to see you. How is Baked Alaska's eyesight? I haven't heard anything. I haven't seen Baked Alaska. Anybody know about him? With Fox caving so fast, who there can continue? Yeah, it's gonna be difficult. He gets 4 million viewers every night. Yeah. Yeah, I know he was maced, but how is his eyesight? Somebody said that he was sprayed with, bear spray, which is a lot worse than regular CN tear gas and mace. So how is it? Good morning, Monica. Good to see you. So, I mean, again, we need to go back and look and see if the mayor and the governor had any culpability in what went on. Did they do what they did? Did they tell the police to stand down? Did they know about these people being bussed in? What happened? I think we need to get to the bottom of that. It seems, Super Life, that they may have had something to do with letting things play out like they did. Who will investigate that? Well, it should be the DOJ, probably, Ralph. Bank robbery allowed. I didn't see that one, but not surprising. So I think there's a lot of unanswered questions. I've stopped watching Fox for the sake of my nerves, Greg said. Yes. Hey, Linda, good to see you. Nope, I stopped watching Baked when he went white supremacist, Asher said. Yeah, he claims he's not, Asher, but I've seen him do some things that I don't like that are when he held up the fake sign in Los Angeles about hating Donald Trump so he could see what people said, so get their reactions. I don't believe in doing fake things like that. That's becoming a part of the news rather than reporting on it. Same as watching a bank robbery and doing nothing. I see what you're saying. Baked is self-promoting, Ralph said. Yeah. I mean, I don't know the guy personally, but I don't watch a lot of what he does because I don't like a lot of what he does. So I know he was marching that night with the people holding the tiki torches. I did see that. So, yeah, Cernovich is backing off of things now. He came out yesterday and said, "Oh, I'm not going to be doing anything else because he's too big of a target." Everybody knows who Cernovich is. So, wouldn't the same be said for Jack? Well, yeah, I think yesterday, something that I saw with Jack, he was sort of standing in front of the statue. What was it, in Seattle, perhaps? Is that where he was? I don't know. Some statue, I think it was of Lenin, and calling for it to be brought down. And it looked, I don't know if he put those people there or not. I don't know. But you don't do those things just to get attention. If you want to go out and you want to, if it's a serious rally, I'm all for you. If you're doing it lawfully, if you have a permit to do it, those types of things. But if you're just making it up. Hey, Nick, good to see you. It's that type of thing. And I don't know if what Jack did yesterday, I don't know if it was something true or not. I have no idea. He's leading the Google protest. Yeah, I thought so. I mean, but who knows? Hey, Sarah, good to see you. Lenin statue in Seattle, Jerry said that's where he was. No one is condemning the guy who used his car to kill and injure the people. Yeah, just that the president actually did condemn the man who rammed the car into the woman in front of him and killed Heather. Scott Adams said all statues should come down. Why? Okay. Cernovich does good work. I believe Jack is taking a sarcastic approach to the statue thing, according to Bluegrass. Yeah, I honestly don't follow them a lot. I will, stay and listen to them for maybe a minute or something, see what they're doing, and then I move on. I don't want to be looking at what they're doing and doing the same thing or, coming up with the same conclusions that they do. I want to make my own. If anyone in America deserves the hatred, Trump is receiving it. Yeah, but it's Hillary. Trump is going to start a war. No, Trump's not starting the war. Trump's not the one out there with the tiki torches. Trump's not the one out there with the bats. Trump's not the one out there, ramming cars into people. So, no, it wouldn't be Trump. Hey, Trey, good to see you. Good morning. I think it was to make a point that there are offensive statutes to conservatives. Where do you stop? No, I know what the point was, Jerry. I just, again, like I said, if you're serious about doing it, then that's one thing. But if you're just doing it to get attention, I don't see the point in that. The KKK stuff is crazy. The neo-Nazi stuff is crazy. The Black Lives Matter, Antifa, all of those people spreading evil, committing crimes. It's all wrong. Trump is one calling for peace. Exactly. So in other news, let's see. What can we have? We have more Democrats, of course, in Congress. Gwen Moore in Wisconsin, Jackie Speier in California, renewing calls, of course, for impeachment. Nothing about impeachment that has, to bring a case of impeachment, but they're calling for it. Maxine Waters does it every day. Now these are jumping on the bandwagon. I wrote an article about it today at SusanKnowles.com if you want to see that article. Not a problem, Barbara. You can go back and watch the replay if you like. Let's see, Dems and KKK are buddies. Gee, surprise, surprise, Nina said. That's just what I'm doing. Asher, it's all. Robin's saying it's all crazy. It is pretty much so. Pretty crazy. What is going on? Will they accomplish it? It depends. It depends on if people fight it. Why is all this KKK going on? I don't understand. Well, because we've allowed them to come back to life. That's why. Meaning, this is what happens when you start all of this stuff. I mean, whoever starts it, I don't care what group starts it. I mean, why aren't we still talking about the fact that Antifa would not allow a gay man to speak at Berkeley? Whites do denounce white nationalist terrorism. They also denounce all the other terrorism that they see. You can't just denounce one group if you're not willing to denounce all of them. Evil is evil. Crime is crime. Doesn't matter who's committing it. It doesn't give a pass to all those other people who just happen not to be white supremacists. The Dems are hoping they can get some Republicans on board with impeachment, otherwise not enough votes. Yeah. It's just ridiculous. No bans and, No, you've missed a couple, Don. It's just been quiet. The KKK is irrelevant until the Dems want some riot, it seems. Yeah. Sherry makes a good point. Trump could cure cancer and the left still wouldn't, they'd still blame him for something and it wouldn't be good enough. There's nothing, we've talked about it before, there's nothing that President Trump is ever going to do that is going to be good enough, that is going to get accolades from anybody. So if you're waiting for that to happen, you got to get over that. It's not going to happen. It's not going to come from the left, ever. I'm just waiting to see if anyone is going to stop this madness. Yeah, I know. People last night in Philadelphia, people were marching in the middle of the street. I don't know if those people had permits. If they didn't have permits, they should not have been in the middle of the street marching. Just said last night on Don Lemon, Michael Moore compared Trump's voters to rapists. I know. And nobody cares, just that. Where were the Democrats coming out and saying you shouldn't be calling people rapists who aren't rapists? Hitler destroyed statute, burned books, then he took away people's rights. Yep, just got news that Trump is changing his mind on transgenders and military. I know that they were wanting him to change his mind. Did he make an official statement? There's someone in here calling. Oh, okay, Greg, thank you. They want Obama back. Yeah, and just for the record, whoever is in here trying to slander me, if I find out who you are, I will prosecute. I will go after you with a lawsuit. So if you're going to call me a KKK member and try to defame me, then you're going to get a lawsuit filed against you. And don't think that you can't subpoena and find out who your name is. So don't come in here trying to defame me, because I won't stand for it. Thank you. Yes. So anyway, also, Lindsey Graham and Jeff Flake came out and criticized Trump. So you would expect them to come out. No, I know, Danielle. Just a troll. Didn't I read somewhere that you are a lawyer? I was a practicing attorney. I have a law degree, yes. So somebody was saying the other day that President Trump is going to be endorsing. Okay, Steve, we'll find out who you are. Going to be endorsing Kelly Ward against Jeff Flake, and I think that's really good. I hope that happens because I think Kelly Ward would be good, and it's time for Jeff Flake to go back where he came from. Al Sharpton wants Washington and Jefferson memorials removed. You know, Al Sharpton. See, these people have got to get into the fray. They've been irrelevant. They've been quiet. There's nothing for them to do. So it's like, oh, okay, let's do this. And again, it's just you have to look and see who's doing it. I mean, now there's a pastor in Chicago who's calling for the parks to be renamed from Washington. I mean, come on. There's once you start things like this, it just goes off the deep end. Oh, he wants the Christopher Columbus statue removed. No, Mr. Trump is going to stay right where Mr. Trump is, blessed. He wanted George Washington Carver removed until he found out. Hey, Eddie, good to see you. Yeah, and I want to tell you, too, and I've noticed this, and maybe you've noticed this as well, that there are more people now on Twitter. And if you go and look at it, they like to either not have profile pictures or they want to start attacking you. And if you go and look, they've got about 2 followers, 2 to 48 followers. And I think these people are getting paid to sit on Twitter all day long and do this type of stuff. Want those lunatics to take down statues to be put in mental institutions. Well, and those are the same people that are calling and saying that Donald Trump, has a mental issue. Yeah, block and don't respond. Right, Big Ralph. I read Lincoln's monument was vandalized when I was there. I'm going to be praying at that monument. We talked about that yesterday, Robin. We saw that it was vandalized. Erase history, you're bound to repeat it. Exactly. Yeah, Robert Byrd and Clinton has a statue, so we leave them up. Met serious badasses on Periscope. Don is one of a kind. Don't know which Don you're talking about, but I'm sure. So anyway, Herman Cain came out and defended Trump against Lindsey Graham and Jeff Flake. Homeless guy is fantastic. Which homeless guy is that? The Donald? I don't think he's homeless. But here, since you brought that up, there is a homeless woman that she's no longer homeless thanks to President Trump because he allows her to live in Trump Tower for free. And she happens to be African American. She could also be gay. She could also be Jewish. She could also be a lot of things. But since you brought that up, she's no longer homeless thanks to President Trump. Gisette said the media has really gone down the tubes. Thank God for your show, Hannity and Lou Dobbs. Thank you, Gisette. Now let's see. Hillary's pastor. You heard about Hillary wanting to be a spiritual leader. Her pastor came out with a book. I think it was scheduled to come out. I believe either it's coming out or it's already out. Don't know. I'm not going to read it, so don't know. But anyway, they're accusing him of plagiarizing the work of another minister, Reverend Matthew Deuel. I guess it's Duel, at Mission Point Community Church in Warsaw, Indiana. But before you, take it any further, basically the pastors supposedly have talked, and he's forgiven the pastor, and they've moved on. Hillary's a spiritual leader is hilarious. I know, Sherry, but, if you can't be in politics, and I guess where else can you get followers as big as in politics? You go to religion, I guess. I don't know. And it could be she's just saying that because she wants to help with the book. So, it could all be just for that. And then once the book kind of dies down, she'll go back into politics, that type of thing. Now, did anybody see in Durham, those arrested for destroying statues are marching, demanding the felonies against them be dropped? Yeah, there are 4 people now that have been arrested in Durham for toppling that. Okay, that toppled the statue. There's 4 people now that have been arrested. So that's good news. They were arrested yesterday when they went to attend a court hearing for that first woman that was arrested. And so while they were there in the courtroom, they went ahead and they arrested him. So again, just because you think that it's okay, that you have a reason for doing what you're doing, if it is a crime, you had better not do it. That's all there is to it. I'd like to hear Hillary preach how it's okay to kill unborn babies. Find the scripture that says that. I know, Robin. Where is that? Yeah, she's kind of against all, against all that. Yeah, Big Dummies is right. Blessed had to leave, Danielle. She left. Kind of unexpectedly, but she left. Any Dems that think for themselves should be changing over to the Republican Party. Or at least starting to think for themselves, Big Ralph. I would take that. Just start thinking for yourself. You heard that Dr. Ben Carson's old home was vandalized. Why? Probably because he's an African-American man who supports the president. Just like they did with Omarosa. They invited her. It was supposed to be about, journalists or media people. I don't know which one. They were supposedly inviting her to talk about her father and her brother who had both passed away. I think one may have been killed, maybe both of them. I don't know. But when she got there, they kind of sabotaged her and started kind of, coming at her basically because she supports the president. Yeah, it's okay, Robin. If you guys right now, if you would please go ahead and just retweet this. We're at the halfway point. And please share this if you will. Yeah, I know. So Omarosa, he was trying to intimidate her, and she finally stood up because he was standing over her. And then people in the crowd who were supposed to be there for the media, Omarosa said they were really Black Lives Matter people, and they stood up and turned their backs on her. So not very respectful. Again, if people pay for a ticket to go places, hey, Robin, you should treat them with respect, allow them to speak. If you don't like what they're saying, you don't have to be there. You can leave. That man was so aggressive toward her, he tried to shut her down. I know, Asher. Yeah, those were supposedly black journalists, but Omarosa said the ones in the audience were Black Lives Matter people. They weren't black journalists. So, I mean, it's really a shame. Again, you don't allow a black man, a gay man to speak in Berkeley. You don't allow a black woman to speak where she was at. I don't know what city that was in. And then you go vandalize a black man's home because why? Because he chooses to be Republican. He chooses to support the president. He chooses to be on HUD to try to help other black communities. Now, what sense does that make? Hey, Robert, good to see you. And, when we're talking about taking down statues and things like that, there was a report out of New York today. These people on a certain street looked in the window of now this is a private person. Hey, Barbara. A private person's apartment. They had a Confederate flag in the window. They also had an Israeli flag in the window and an American flag in the window. And people are outraged over the fact that there was a Confederate flag in the window. Now, you may not like that, but now we're going from looking at public property. Now we're going, hey, Antonio, now we're going to look at interfering with people's private property. Where does it end? Don't give them any ideas, Big Al. They might. So they show all their colors and it's their business. I know. I mean, just because you don't like a guy putting a Confederate flag in the window, what about the people who may be walking by who practice Islam, right? And they don't like the Israeli flag. Should they go in there and tell that guy what to do in his house? Hey, Bob, good to see you. So where does it go? Where does it end? I think all these violent protesters are being paid. I hope they investigate that. Absolutely, just that. I'm sure that they are. Statue should remain and be reestablished. Now it's all of history. And I said yesterday, and I really do feel this way. If your whole city, your city council, whatever, gets together and says, we want a statue removed. You know what? I may not like that, but if that's what the city wants to do, go ahead and remove it. Put it in a historical setting, wherever you want. But, I mean, it should be up to the city. What I don't like is cities like Baltimore, who under cover of darkness went out and removed 4 Confederate statues, monuments, without even asking the people of Baltimore, is this what you want? The Confederate flag isn't always about racism. Many in the South fought to defend their land, Nina said. Who does the government think they are to rewrite history? Won't change the facts. Well, Carmen, they are trying to change the facts, so they're trying to change everything. What happens if somebody doesn't like, any type of flag, Rhonda? You're right. Hey, Rhonda, good to see you. And that's the point. Hey, Robert, when you should be allowed, what happened to being allowed to do whatever you want in your own home? So now we've gone beyond looking at public land and saying what should be done. Now we're going into territories in private property. So what if he's got let's say it's not in the window. Let's say it's on his wall, but you happen to see it from down below, or you happen to see it from next door. Should he take that out, off his wall? You may not agree with it, but isn't it his right in his own house to do what he wants? I think Soros is paying them. This is how Soros took Ukraine. Exactly. Thank you for the flowers, Robert. Still don't understand why it's seemed to control everything. Why libs need to control everything? Because they're elites. There are elites on the Republican side as well. Many of those whose statues are being brought down didn't even own slaves or want to. Exactly, Nina. Walt Disney is often called a racist. Is Disney next? Could be. Bluegrass? Could be. I'm outraged at how people are allowing the Marxists to control our country. I feel like I'm defending everyone's rights. I know, Asher. Rabbi who married Ivanka and Jared has criticized Trump. Well, I mean, I'm not surprised. Pick who you want. There are a lot of people criticizing him. Yesterday he had to shut down 2 of his council boards, or whatever you want to call them, that he had, because people were dropping out. Soros is behind a lot of this. Yeah. Soros has always been behind a lot of this. Yet our rights are being taken away. Left wants to ban free thinking. And see, that's the problem. When you're sitting there and you're allowing everybody else's rights to be taken away, your rights are next. I mean, again, even if those people in the park in Charlottesville, I don't know. They said they wanted to go there to talk about why they didn't want the monuments removed. I don't know who they are, really. I mean, if they're white supremacists, okay. I'm not for them, but they do have a right to speak in a park with a permit. And so does anybody else, as long as they're peaceful and they don't commit crimes. And if you don't support their right of free speech, then yours is next. Asher didn't like the rabbis. Russian ban Soros. I don't see why we can't ban, revoke citizenship, or freeze assets. Well, we got to prove a lot of things political, and I don't think people have taken the time to go after him, and I don't know why. The alt-right had a permit and were there to protect the statute. Yeah. I think most of those liberal Jews are secular, Julie said. And that's just the thing. Again, you just got to, if you don't protect other people's rights, your rights are next. Did anybody, yesterday when it came out and it said Steve Bannon had he did that interview with another reporter, which Fox News is now reporting. He didn't know. He thought it was off the record. What did you guys think about Steve Bannon coming out yesterday and talking to a reporter? Yeah, we talked about Jason Kessler yesterday, about being an Obama supporter, supposedly. It's concerning. Yeah, this is the same thing that supposedly Scaramucci did, that he came out, he talked, thought it was off the record. But, yeah, Barbara, really. And the thing of it is, Steve Bannon supposedly called this guy. So when you're calling somebody, unless you say, I want this off the record, it's going to be on the record. And Bannon isn't stupid. You wonder if he knows, that his time there is kind of short, or so he thinks, and he wanted to speak out about things. I don't know. Some of what he said is that, he's pushing adversaries out at the State Department and Treasury Department. So I don't know. Are those the people coming after him? I don't know. And, I think he does support President Trump. I do. He's been the biggest supporter. He's the one I truly think turned the whole election around for President Trump, even though he kind of minimizes what he did. I didn't hear anything about Bannon. I had a busy day, Robin said. Disagreed totally with Bannon regarding North Korea. I don't know what to think anymore. So much division. And that's the part, Julie. It's kind of hard to know. It's kind of hard to know who to trust, who's telling you the truth, who is, what side anybody's on. Are they just trying to deceive you? And that's where, again, hey, Sally, in the beginning we talked about discernment. That's why it's going to be so important about, what you do and how you approach things. And you're going to have to start doing your own research, because there's only so many hours in a day. I mean, I sit in and I do this like practically all day long up until the night. And I'm not even kidding you. And I find so many things, and it leads me so many different places. But I want to have some type of a life where I do other things. Oh, wow. So Marianne is saying the car in Barcelona just plowed into a crowd. Josette said that Jamie Dimon from J.P. Morgan was upset over what the POTUS said. People like them are self-righteous. Josette said, but why call if you want it off the record? Well, I know, Rhonda. Seriously, that makes a lot of sense. I really don't think it was off the record. I think he intentionally meant to do that. Somebody going to be gone this week? Who's that somebody that's going to be gone this week? You think Bannon's going to go now that he came out and said something? Because he didn't talk against the president, that's for sure. Don says he's on leaker overload. With Trump come what may, represent needed change in the way D.C. operates. Yep. Been praying a heck of a lot, and God's really been having me question most online. Well, Nina, that's what we should be doing. We should all be doing that, praying for guidance, direction, discernment. Yeah, you're wrong for being an actual Nazi. I was promoting Bannon support, then had to delete tweet upon the news. Wow, super. I can see why people believe the Marxist media. They are constantly being bombarded with hate speech for whites, Republicans, and conservatives and Christians, Asher said. Yeah, if Bannon goes, you're afraid about Trump. Most everywhere, truthfully. Explain, please, why Nazism is bad. Andy, I don't have time to talk about racism and why it's bad, or why discriminating against other people is bad. It's just a given. You know that it is, all right? And I'm not going to debate that. Hey, Jim, good to see you. Serious question. If Trump were to resign or impeach, would you continue to scope? Well, of course I would. My world does not revolve around one man or woman. And just so you know, Trump's not going to be impeached, Eddie. So, let's see. Other news. I mean, we'll have to see about Bannon. I really do think that Bannon wouldn't have done the same thing that Scaramucci did. I think if he did that, he called somebody, then it was deliberately. He wanted to say what he wanted to say. Thanks, Julie. I remember when Barcelona was a cool vacation spot. I can see why people believe that. Yeah, you can see why people believe that. Okay, so let's see. Other news. Senator Orrin Hatch came out in support of Trump and how he phrased everything. Those 3 times now that he's talked about it. And also Jimmy Kimmel came out and talked about Trump, and people didn't like it. Catherine says WikiLeaks is back on the scene. Julie said that she still thinks that God is using Trump for his purposes. Yep. Oh, go Hatch. About time. About time. Let's see. Here's some other kind of local news. A high school teacher has been accused of threatening to a high school student, has been accused of threatening to kill her former teacher on social media. Desiree Zhao, Z-I-O, was taken into custody Sunday after allegedly saying she was going to hunt down the River Ridge high school teacher and stab her with a knife. She was angry at her former teacher and claimed there was some bullying last year that wasn't addressed to her satisfaction, and she acted out emotionally and made the threat. Allegedly, the teacher came across the post on Facebook and then was sent the same message directly. So there again, and this is a high school student. I don't know if the high school student has any mental health issues. I don't know. Hey, Cully. I really don't know, but also, what is that high school student seeing? What is being modeled for her? Just saying. A lot is going on. It's kind of like the message in some respects is, if you don't like something, then act against it. Our local relies on CNN for their information in your, oh my gosh, in Trinidad, that's terrible. What do I think of Milo? I think that Milo should have been given the right to speak at Berkeley. That's what I think about him. Brainwashed by the left. It doesn't mean that I agree with Milo or disagree with him. I agree that if he went in there and asked to speak, I think they even paid him to speak. He wanted to speak. No reason he couldn't. Everybody else has spoken there. Why not Milo? And even Ann Coulter. I don't agree with Ann Coulter on everything, or even sometimes on a lot of things. But she should have been allowed to speak as well. They also tried to shut down Dennis Prager from Santa Monica, a symphony, I think it was yesterday. He was invited there to be a guest conductor. And when they found out he was, of course, he's very conservative, they wanted the whole thing shut down. A symphony, okay, because the guy happens to be conservative. Thank you, Jess. And so that backfired on him because they sold out. They sold out of tickets at the symphony. And so Dennis Prager was able to go on. It's ridiculous. I mean, this is getting so ridiculous. Next thing is going to be, well, you shouldn't be there because you're a Christian. You shouldn't be there because you're black, you're white, you're whatever. No. People, you need to, calm down and quit acting crazy. Even though you're not a right-winger, you manage to stand with your unbiased opinion. Well, I'm a conservative. I'm on the right side. I'm not a left-winger, so. Where does it end? It ends, Julie, when lawfulness is reinstated. That's where it ends. Absolutely, Robin. God unites us. Hey, maybe it would be easier on everyone if Alberta separates from Canada and the USA can then join our new country. I don't know, Gary. I don't know about that. That's what happens when you take God out of everything, Robin said. Yes. No, it's not a Nazi scope. But you can leave if you like, because you don't have to be here. I know Andrew wants attention. I thought you were a left-winger, so you put the hashtag Hillary. Oh, God, no. No, I just put that we were going to be talking about Hillary. That's why I put a hashtag Hillary. The hashtags are just what I'm going to be talking about. Can't figure out where all the police and law are. Well, Julie, they're being told to stand down, perhaps. They were told to stand down in Baltimore. Remember that? A lot of different places. We have to find out who is telling them to stand down. I think we should pass legislation against these people, governors and mayors, who are, if they're telling their cops to stand down, I think they need to be put in jail for that. Now, yesterday there was some news. I don't know, some of you might like this. I got a little kick out of it. Barack Obama's private bike share, which he'd installed inside the White House security perimeter, has been removed by the Trump administration, the current president, a move that has some upset. Now, here's what I don't like about it. You're putting a ride share inside the parameters of the White House, okay? Not a smart move, because if it's open to the public, not a smart move. But anyway, Capital Bike shares a Metro DC sharing service, which utilizes 3,700 bikes and 440 stations across 5 jurisdictions. The service was designed for quick rides, one-way trips, and it was removed at the beginning of the week. I mean, talk about a possible security issue. What do you think about the transgender ban in the military? Well, so far that ban has not gone into place. I think that, there's a lot of different opinions on that. I mean, you can look at it from both sides. If some people say, yes, Super says it's a security risk. Other people say they should be allowed to, support the military. And, it's hard that you get somebody in. Does that mean that they should be not fighting in the front lines? Is that going to be a problem? I don't know. It's up to you. What do you think about it? And who knows if that's going, again, the ban has not passed yet. And that was supposedly something that the military told President Trump needed to be done. So, I'm not going to second guess the military. If they think it needs to be done, I'm sure they have a good reason for that. Yeah, I don't want to pay for their operations and hormone treatments either. Yeah, I mean, that will break the military. Trans suicide rate is high. Whose showers are they going to use? Danielle asks. So anyway, the vice president. Yeah, exactly, G. Jess. I mean, the military needs to focus on their job, and their job is protecting the country. And I'll let them decide how that should best be done. Another attempt to normalize perversion and mental illness, Julie said. The left has figured out how to stop Trump's agenda, Russia, and racism. Well, they keep trying anyway. Vice President Pence came out yesterday. People, of course, were asking him, what do you think? Was Trump right or wrong with Charlottesville? And he said that I stand with my president. Thank you, Vice President. Thank you for being loyal. That's the one thing that we seem to be lacking on the Republican and the Democrat side is loyalty. The loyalty to the president, loyalty to the Constitution, loyalty to the process. Have I noticed that Pence lost weight? Not really. I don't really look at him. The left really trying their best now to ban top icon from the social media. Oh, yesterday, and this is a true story, this man that I know on Facebook, he has a PhD. So in his name, he put, John Smith, PhD. Facebook told him he'd have to remove the PhD or they would shut down his account. And when he didn't remove it, they shut down his account. I am racist against racists. I am not a very good person, Gary said. Got kicked out, Barbara, because he decided he wanted to use PhD. I'm not sure why. This was a person that was on Facebook, a person that I know his wife just from Facebook, and he tried to put that up and with his name with a PhD, and he was told by Facebook that you need to take that down, that if you don't, we'll shut you down, and he didn't, and they shut him down. Pence seems to be a good guy. They try to pit him against Trump. They try to make it out like he is, he's going to go after being president and he doesn't care about Trump. And I don't get that from him at all. He's also a Christian man, and I don't see him acting out like that in that way. Now, San Diego, see, I am not even an American, but damn left-winger in the States now always really piss me off. San Diego get this, San Diego. They had to get into this whole Charlottesville thing. They had to do something. San Diego doesn't really have Confederate flags, hanging around any place, or it doesn't have Confederate monuments around. But we had this one little plaque that honored a Confederate president, Jefferson Davis. This is sad. It was probably about this big, right? If that. And it was in an area where people walk over it all the time. It's just near a fountain and it's in the brick. And so San Diego's like, okay, we're going to get behind this. And they went out and took the plaque out of the ground and they're going to put a brick there. So, I just think it was so ridiculous. I didn't even know it was there. I don't think anybody else knew it was there, and nobody cared. Why do I care? Because it's stupid. taking a plaque out of the ground that people walk over and walk on every day and don't even care about it, don't even know what it is. They had to find the one plaque in the whole city that they could remove to show, oh, look, we're on your side. Again, I don't like things that are created because for show. I like things that are done because it's real. I know, nobody cared about that. San Diego is PC land. Yeah, it sure is. Go save all the ones we can until brains return. If I remember correctly, Davis didn't own slaves. Does it matter, Nina? I mean, seriously, does it matter? Probably cost 10 grand to remove. Probably. They had to get, probably 5 people out there to remove it and then put up everything so people wouldn't trip on the hole that they left and sue the city. I mean, it's ridiculous. Again, nobody even knew it was there. I mean, jeez. Confederates fought for what they believed was wrong but lost their lives, Yeah, and again, it's a part of history. And if the city doesn't like it, then let the city vote on removing whatever. Let me guess who you support. Whoever just said that. I mean, if you come into a scope and then you want to criticize who we support in the scope. I mean, come on. Exactly. Yesterday, Trump, I think it was yesterday, he criticized Amazon, and their shares dropped by 0.3% when they accused him of putting small retailers out of business. No, it's called being disrespectful. If you want to say, oh, do you support Hillary? Do you support Trump? Asking a question, but like, oh, I bet I know who you do. Important to be able to disagree with who you support. It's the way you ask it, Jack. It's like you don't want a dialogue. You want people to be on the defense. Just ask a question. Who do you support? You can say, I support Hillary. Whatever. My daughter finishing college in San Diego will have to deprogram her later this year. Yes, Greg, you will. Auction the statues and artifacts and make money for the state. I support Donald Trump. Who do you support, Jack? And basically all you have to do, like I said, you just say in the city, let's have a meeting. Let's decide what we're going to do. Let's decide in the city if we're going to remove that plaque. And they didn't do that. Again, it's the government who made a decision of what was going to be done for the city. It's big government. Do you want that? Exactly, Cully. Do you want the government telling you what to do? The government telling you what to do and doing things without asking you is just as bad as what other people are doing. Although it's not criminal in under the law, it's like quote unquote criminal that they're doing that. Defacing state and federal property is jail time. That's right, Nancy. I'm British. Nobody outside of America supports your leader. People are terrified. Well, then if you're British, why do you care who I support? And if you're British, why do you really care about America? You got your own problems there in Britain. Why don't you worry about those? I mean, you worry about being taken over there. I mean, come on. Hey, Bluegrass. I just don't get why the left wing protects illegals so bad that they attack their own race. Because, Jess, they want votes. They need them to vote. 600,000 lives lost for states' rights is in the Constitution that at any time the government becomes oppressive, the state shall dissolve its bond, Don said. Gisette said that's Juan Williams for you. He sees race in everything, very troubling. He really does, Gisette. He really does. Big Brother knows best. Government will always do what's best for the people. Clifton, California. That they certainly think so. Thank you, Donnie, for the super hearts. Yeah, I mean, it's time. Again, when we're being distracted by things, you have to also see why they're distracting you, what they don't want you to see. And it's things like this going on where we're like, some people are saying, oh, that's great. I'm glad that they went out there. I'm glad the government went out there in Baltimore and removed those statues. I'm glad the government went out and removed that plaque in San Diego. But what you're not realizing is they just took away your rights, your power, your authority as we the people. Jack, see, you're being rude again because I'm using the microphone for the people on YouTube. You're on Periscope, but you're being rude again. You're always, I mean, see, you can't come in and not be rude. Jack needs attention. They can't leave the mic alone. It's called being envious, Robert, and you know what I'm talking about. No, we don't Heil Hitler in here. So you can leave on that note. We're not racist in this scope. We don't discriminate against people in this scope. So if you want to talk like that, you can go. Yes, Barbara, we can. Thank you, Robert. All right, you guys, the hour is up. If you would, please retweet this everywhere. Please share this everywhere, everybody. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you, Facebook Live. Thank you, Periscope, for being here. And please retweet this. And for everybody else on YouTube, if you would, please share this. We'll talk soon. God bless you. Take care.